Madhouse Podcasting Network.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for joining us on another episode of Behind the Mask. Today we have our guests, Adam and Jess Dollins from AdamJessFX. Good evening, folks. How are you guys doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Thank you for coming on, you guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We're excited to be here. Finally found a break to get out here with you guys.
Yeah, man, you guys are crazy busy.
It's been insane lately.
We'll get into that as to why you guys are so busy. If for those people that don't know, you know what I mean. So it's been a pretty big good run for you guys. But let's just get into it. Let's talk about when you guys started AdamJessFX and why. What inspired you to actually kind of, hey, I want to build creepy, scary shit for a living. So you guys can answer that question whatever order you want, but yeah.
Cool. You wanna start off?
Oh, I was gonna have you start.
Okay.
Yep.
So we we started AdamJessFX. Let's see. I think we're going into our 6th year now. So whatever year that was, but that was like officially. We got into the whole horror and haunt world probably a little before that. I've been into haunted houses since I was like 13. But as an official business, it's been about 5 years, going into our 6th now. It's been a wild ride for these past 5 years jumping into it. It starts off kind of slow, but then at some point it just soars, and it's a cool feeling when that happens, but it's also kind of intimidating. Because you just it's basically just the two of us, and we'll occasionally have help from friends and stuff, which is awesome, from some really talented people too, but for the most part it's just the two of us juggling everything, and it's so much fun, but it is a lot to handle at the same time.
So what you're saying is it's like an oh shit moment where all of a sudden things really start turning.
Yeah, pretty much. You're 1 year you're having fun, things are casual, you're just being creative and just really just having fun with it, and then the next year you're still having fun, but you're just like, holy crap.
Yeah. So what about you, Jess? I mean, was it something that you're like, hey, let's do this because you were interested in that, or were you kind of like, let's make a business that we both like, kind of like something that you guys wanted to do together?
Yes. So I've always liked, haunted houses and stuff since I was little. I had uncles that did it when they were kids. So then obviously they passed on the tradition to us. And then I went into costuming. So that's how I started. So anything, not of the norm, I guess, is what I was into. So I always wanted my own business of some sort. I just wasn't sure what direction I wanted to go into. I just knew costuming and props had a big part of it. So then once I met this guy, that's kind of where it fell into place of like, this is where it's going.
You know what? So I just want to touch on this. Where did you guys meet? Because I can't, in my brain, I can't remember that.
Well, we understand your brain.
Yeah. Mr. Brain Cramp over there today.
So we actually met at Knott's. I was working as a character with his sister. We both got casted on the Christmas train, and she wanted to embarrass her brother. So she wrangled me up. I never met him, and was like, hey, can you embarrass my brother? And I was like, sure. So I, went into the car. She just described him and said where he was sitting, like counted the people ahead of me.
This is on the train, by the way.
On the train of Knott's Berry Farm. So then I went into the car and saw him and was like, oh gosh. And she was just like, yep, that's the one. So I said hi to him, and she instantly just says shotgun wedding, which means whatever character is talking to whatever patron, you have to get married. So she did that on purpose to try to embarrass him. She didn't realize that she was embarrassing me at that point.
Because you had stars in your eyes already.
I did.
Oh my God, that's your brother.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those moments of like, that's your brother, and so yeah, and then that's how we met. So we
Nice.
literally got married on the train at Knott's. That's how we met.
That's cool.
Before you guys even knew who each other's were, you guys got married.
Yep.
I didn't even know her real name yet.
No. On my
Okay, so
real
we know
hair
what she
color.
thought.
Yeah.
We know what she thought of you, Adam. What did you think of her? You have twinkly stars in your eyes too?
Yeah, pretty much the same. You know, it's hard because you don't want to be that like weirdo that falls for a character at a theme park, but I don't know, you know, it was one of those things where I was just like, whoa, wait a minute, you know, and you know, we of course didn't jump into anything too quick. We went through the whole flirty stage and all that and whatnot, but yeah, it was I think we pretty much both had the butterflies.
Nice.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
That was totally off tangent, but that was for my own knowledge. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was going to ask the same question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
So-
It's part of the history of JessFX. So
Yeah, it is. And how you guys started.
yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk about a little bit like how you started. Adam, initially you had got it going before you met Jess, right? Just a little bit. And then
Kind of. Yeah. So like I said, I was kind of into it since I was like 13, 12 years old, something like that. I started working. I think the first like haunt thing, like an official haunt thing I ever did was this hayride with my uncle at a campground that he used to camp at a lot. And it was actually a really, a pretty elaborate hayride. I was actually kind of shocked when we got there and saw how cool it was, all decked out and stuff. And that was kind of like the first official thing that got me really into it. And then after that, we started doing, you know, home haunts and stuff. We did a home haunt in my grandma's backyard, which she has like a massive slab of concrete in her yard. So it just worked out really well. Did that for 3 years, I think, something like that. And then after that is when I started working at like more parks and other larger hay rides, pumpkin patches and stuff like that. So working in the industry as a monster, you know, it was like a ladder going up from small events, home haunts, larger events, until we finally got up to Scary Farm, did that for a few years, and then started getting into actually making stuff during that time.
Right.
And playing around with painting masks that I would buy. You know, I'd buy masks online or whatever and repaint them just to get a feel for that whole process and whatnot. And then after I left Scary Farm is when I really was like, let's play around with this some more, kind of a hobby thing. And then out of the blue one day, someone asked if I could make a custom mask. And I remember looking at Jess and being like, hey, you know, this could be really cool, but like, you know, what's the process of like charging someone, and like, is that legal to charge someone? Like, I was just really confused by it all. So it's like, what do I do? You know? And she
you
was
were
the one
still
that was
green.
like, huh?
You were green. Still,
Yeah.
you didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I was, it was kind of that fear of like, is the IRS going to come after me if I charge this one person? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but she was the one that was like, even if, just do it, you know?
Yeah.
So she
Well,
really,
they were also good friends of mine.
yeah.
So I think that's why, yeah, we got to do it for a more well-known drag queen
Mhm.
friend of mine.
Uh-huh.
So I was just like, they are not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Who was it?
If you-
Their drag name's Anita Rose, and they're huge in Palm Springs. They host a lot over
Yeah.
there, and then they have they do a big Halloween thing in Orange County. But
Okay.
Palm Springs, they're like known, I guess, over there. It's kind of funny to me because like I'm not from that world at first.
Yeah.
And then once I was introduced, and I was just like, oh, I'm here for Anita. They were just like, oh, I didn't know Anita. And I was like, oh, yep.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
guess she's very
yeah.
popular here.
Yeah.
She is, yeah.
That's cool.
So it was cool that we got to, you know, and then she wanted more. So then she's the one that helped us too, to, you know, she wanted custom costumes, and then more. Didn't she get another mask too after that?
I think
or a couple
so.
after that.
Something, yeah.
She was the one that like I felt got the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
what kind of face did you do for her?
We did the first initial one that kind of started everything was an Oogie Boogie. Anita does like a lot of really cool spooky characters and stuff.
Okay.
And so we did an Oogie Boogie mask. She had like a full outfit that had like a hood with like a face cut out, and she wore a prosthetic, but it was like a really flat basic prosthetic, and she wanted to up it. So we made the custom sculpt and everything, you know, the whole typical custom mask process. But yeah, Jess really was the one that like pushed me and said, no, like go for it. Cause she knew that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people, you know, growing up when they see you as an outsider that aren't in the haunt industry, they see you doing this stuff that they're like, oh, that's not real. You can't make money off of that. That'll never provide, you know, and they don't understand that it actually can. And so I was kind of discouraged, like throughout my teen years when I was getting into this stuff. And I was discouraged as far as doing it professionally to provide. I thought, well, this will always just be something fun.
Yeah.
And then Jess came along and was like, no. Like, look, you've got a customer right here willing to pay good money for it. So do it, you know?
Yep.
And so we did.
It only takes
Yeah.
one to get you started.
Yeah. And that's
Definitely.
exactly what happened. We got that one, and, you know, one word of mouth just spreads, and it just kept going. So
behind every good man, there's a better woman. That was my situation. Your story is like it mimics mine when it came to mask making, because I was the same way. I was working some stupid Home Depot job and doing masks on the side.
yeah.
And I had only worked at Home Depot for like 2 weeks, and I walked out of the job. I'm like, fuck this place.
Yeah.
And so I was at home, and I'm like, I don't know what am I gonna do? And she's like, do Jay Lee. And I'm like, I can't. I don't have any fucking money. She's like, there's a show coming up. Let's just do it. Just, we'll put what we have into it, make a bunch of faces, and do your first show. And we did, and it was a monster. It was good. It really
That's
put us
awesome.
up. So she pushed me, and so it's pretty awesome to hear that that's what Jess did to you. Sometimes we just need that kick from.
Having that support system really makes a huge difference.
Yes.
And she, aside from just that one mask, any time that I'm like, I get these crazy ideas. Well, to me, they're crazy. Apparently to her, they're not as crazy, but I'll come up to her and be like, hey, this show was just announced and the booth cost is $800. Let's do it. And she's like, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, but it could be good for us. And like I said, she's the one that's always like, it's a lot of money, but let's do it.
Yeah.
So she keeps my head level and keeps me from getting ahead of myself, but at the same time supports me and really shooting and making this a big thing. And I, of course, I couldn't do it without her too. Like physically, like she does so much that I feel like a lot of people don't realize as well. A lot of people don't realize what capacity she has in our company.
Yeah.
I think that's the funniest thing I think about our company name from the get-go is that everyone thought his middle name was Jesse.
So yeah, Adam Jess, yeah.
Yeah, so they thought his name was like Adam Jesse Dollins, And then I was just like, hi, I'm Jessica, as in Jess. Like, so there'd be a giant banner behind us. I'm like, I'm literally the Jess part.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's literally just me doing all the work. And
that's what I thought. I thought that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so okay. Since we're on that topic, both of you guys talk about what your guys' forte is in the job. Like I know you guys do everything together, but Jess, what do you do? And Adam, what do you do? Like, I know you guys have specific roles on what your actual forte is, and then you come together to do all the, make all the products you guys have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not even just like, oh, he handles masks, I handle props. Like we literally divide the process based on all of our skills that we have. That was also one of the things that I loved was the things I hate doing, like sculpting. he loves it.
Yeah.
So that's like his forte. So like if we're starting a mask, obviously he starts it because, you know, like we can start with ideas, you know, if it's one of ours, we'll bounce ideas off of each other. So it's kind of like both of us. And then once it's time to sculpt, it's all Adam. I mean, it's all him.
He's like,
I
okay.
do not teach that. Yeah, that is not my forte.
And she's tried it, you know. It's not that she's just like, no, I don't want to do that. She tried sculpting, and
It's just
I thought
not my thing.
I thought she was doing okay, but she just didn't enjoy it. So I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
you have to like it.
Yeah. I can paint certain things, but I don't really care for airbrushing.
Mm-hmm.
So
love it.
I hand that to her whenever I can. And, you know, she does great at it and she enjoys it. So
I
Yeah.
can see Adam
I'm
just taking a
also-
paintbrush and going.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy the messy painting style and stuff. So
Yeah,
I'll take hand painting any day. I prefer hand painting stuff,
Yeah,
but airbrushing tends
take
to be
over.
faster.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if she's
Yeah.
around, just take it.
Yeah. Molding.
Yeah,
I
you
love
can do that.
molding.
I'm done with my part. You can do the airbrush.
Exactly.
Right? Like you take over now.
Yeah.
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 And that really benefited both of us. We happen to
Balance out.
we balance out because we enjoy different parts of the process.
Yeah.
So it's not that we ever have to fight of like, well, I want to do it this time. No, because it's usually like, oh, I don't like doing this. You do though, and
Yeah.
vice versa.
Right.
So it's really nice.
So
But
talk
as
about,
far as like what we actually do, yeah, I do sculpting, I do molding, I do a little bit of painting. I paint a lot of the props.
Hmm.
I tend to paint a lot of our props that we do. Just prop work in general. I think we both do a lot of prop work, but like specifically what we do tends to be different. I don't know. What else do we do?
Yeah.
yeah,
I
talk
do-
about that. Like what you guys offer as a company overall.
Mhm.
You know, everything you offer to your customers.
Yeah, so we do costumes, masks, and props. And I mean, masks kind of fall into it with costumes. You know, it's like full head to toe costuming.
So he didn't mention that was one of his skills. He can sew.
A little bit. Yeah.
I do most of it though. I did so I do all the pattern making and then construction of it. And he does a lot of the distressing though. So after I complete a costume, then I hand it off to him for distressing and
Make it look nasty.
yeah,
Make a
put all
mess
the
of it.
blood on it.
You make it look good take it to that next level.
Yeah.
Take it from
Yeah, 'cause he-
from Target to Halloween.
Yeah.
Started something. I might have
Uh-huh.
something for you, Adam.
Huh?
I might have something for you to distress for me.
Can we
just
talk
thought
about it
about it.
here, or do we got to talk about it after?
After.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
It's a secret.
Trade secret.
It's a secret.
But yeah, we it's kind of cool because certain things we do kind of phase together on, you know, like I can sew small things, she can sew large things, but if I were to have to jump in on a large project, I can.
Mhm.
And then same thing for like when I'm pouring masks and stuff, like pouring the actual latex and doing all that process is usually my part. But if she's got to jump in and help me, she knows how and she's capable.
Yeah.
Um,
The molding process. I love doing molding though. I'm that weirdo.
I'm
Like
not gonna lie, that
casting-
was fun. Jeremy taught me how to do that, and that process is pretty fun to learn how to make a mold.
Yeah.
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 It's fun.
It's like, it's, what do you call it? Gratifying? Is that the word?
Yeah,
Gratifying when
It's-
you're done with it. You
satisfying.
It's very
That's-
the process of mold making is creative, stressful, and then
Yeah.
gratifying because
Yeah.
you're like,
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
If I
the
fu-
demolding is my favorite, but then it's just like, oh, I
Oh
can
my
see
God,
it.
so
Like,
is
is it okay?
You know what's funny is this is totally off topic, but it's kind of ties in. Like when you're mold making, and it's like super satisfying to see it, and as you're doing it. And another thing that's like that too is Jeremy will speak to this too because he's like, dude, that's so fucking satisfying. Is when you spray something with Plasti Dip and you peel off all the overspray.
oh
Like
Yeah.
not even kidding. Like when he and I did our cars, we're like, dude, that is so gratifying when you pull off all the overspray and you,
You
get
get
the
those
finished
clean
product.
lines.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so weird.
yeah, it's
We
really
used to,
it's
Sorry, go
it's
ahead.
very mold making is stressful when you mold somebody else's that you've paid to sculpt
Yeah.
And it's just, you're like, I have to make sure this thing is perfect. I have to make sure the undercuts are perfect.
Yep.
That is fucking stressful.
Yeah, we started bringing in a couple of guest sculptors this past, was it this year?
This year.
I think it was the beginning of this year we started that. And we plan to do more of it. It's just a matter of finding time. So most likely when we bring in more people, it'll be at the end of this year. But yeah, molding other
I look
people's
forward to your call.
sculptures. Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm not kidding you. Like, we're always looking for talent, and luckily we know where to find it. So
yeah, that's the important part.
yeah, but yeah, molding other people's sculptures is another form of stress that, like, I've never witnessed before, and now I have.
Yeah, it sucks.
But
That's always the case for me, though, because I never sculpt. It's always
because
someone else's stuff.
like you've never molded your
So
own.
I just can't do it now.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
When you mold your own stuff, you're like,
Yeah.
It depends if it's
Like-
like, if you're on a crunch, like if you've promoted the sculpture, which
Yeah.
I learned not to do,
Yeah.
then you, it's stressful because you want to get it, and you want to make the product, but it's also like But when you put money into it, and someone else is relying on you to
Yeah.
mold it and make the product that they've put work in,
Like,
and
that money's gone. So
yeah, because you can't go, oh well, hey, I screwed it up. You got to resculpt.
yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So yeah, tell us about your process. Well, let me be more specific. Tell us about your character, your concept process when you come up with a new character. What's your process on doing that?
So when we come up with new characters and just designs, whether it's a mask or a prop or whatever, it's usually, I feel like it's usually pretty random, honestly. Like I'll just get this random spurt of ideas once in a while, and then I'll usually run them by her and just be like, here's a couple of ideas. What do you think? And we'll kind of just pick at the idea for maybe like 3 or 4 days until we decide, okay, let's actually make it now.
Yep.
But as far as, like, once we come up with the idea, like, we don't really do sketching, or I know a lot of people do like the digital art, like the digital sculpting. We've done sketches and digital sculpts before, but we find that it's usually for our process much easier to just jump right into the sculpting or mold making or whatever it is that we need to start with.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff just kind of comes out of our heads. We just,
and he's really good at reading my mind of when I'm describing something to him, of like an idea I'm seeing, a monster I have in mind.
Yeah.
I can just describe it and he gets it and he just starts sculpting and I'm like, yep, that's what's in my head. Good job.
So kind of an evolved version,
Yeah.
kind of an evolved version of winging it.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, pretty much.
Hey, if it works though,
Yeah. And what's
So-
cool too is that, like, the guest sculptors that we've had come in, when we come up with an idea and we tell them about it, they've been like spot on as well. They just whip it out, and luckily they've been cool that if we tell them, we're gonna make a few small adjustments after they leave for the day or whatever, then they're cool with it. Like, they don't care, which is nice. Just for the sake of time, so we don't have to have them come back a second or third day or anything, for just a little face mask or something.
Yeah.
If it were a bigger piece, then yeah, we'd probably have them come in a few days. But
So normally the guest sculptors, you have them come in for a day and that's it.
yeah, it again just kind of depends on what we're doing. So far, all we've had guest sculptors do is face masks, just to help build our inventory further while we work on other stuff that is maybe like a more complicated thing, like silicone molding or something. It's nice to have other people come in for that day and they can work side by side with us, but we're working on other things to build the inventory as well.
Right.
But yeah, it's all that concept of just kind of pulling stuff out of the brain and putting it on the table.
Right.
Yeah, it's your concept, your guys' concept development's a lot different. Like you said, a lot of people use the digital stuff. Like, I mean, dude, Jeremy just did, well, not just did, but a while ago, he did a ZBrush version of the Green Goblin.
I saw that.
Can you get that in screen count, Jeremy?
Yeah, let me look for it. Yeah.
It's well, I don't know. Have you guys seen it?
I saw it.
Mhm.
I don't know. Did you see it?
Oh, you have?
Yeah, on Instagram. Did he post it on Instagram?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
you
that
don't have
was
to pull it up
really
now, Jay.
cool.
Yeah, I think turned out legit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that it was. I was developing a new process, and not developing. I was doing the process that I do professionally at work, with the character concepting. And so Wade and I, he hit me up and he's like, I want to do a new version of the mask. And I'm like, all right, cool, but this is cool. We can do it all digitally you're from home, I'm here, like we can just do it. And I initially started off with his mask, his old one.
Oh,
And,
nice.
Yeah, and then I just altered it from there. We did like 4 rounds of the digital sculpt, and finally came across, what he totally dug, and I was like, cool. So I painted it up in digital form and did a little render and sent it, and he's like, dude, this is perfect. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
the idea of it was to, I gave him the idea of like, hey, I think we kind of need to age it because, and anatomically make it correct in some small way, because anatomically it makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to the, Kat and the other people that sculpted it. It's a stylized character for sure.
Yeah.
But
It definitely was what it needed for it not.
Yeah, but my goal was to give it a more anatomically correct features on top of really giving it a old soul and making it
That's cool.
like he aged not like totally old manish, but like badass old. He's been kind of because the Green Goblin's quote unquote retired, so I wanted to make it like he just kind of was just I can imagine him kind of with this big cloak on, just kind of chilling. And just waiting for the day for him to come back out. He's got, a little bit of, scruff and hair, and, just that was the idea behind it. And
I love it.
He totally ran with it. And we were literally supposed to cast him and do all that shit 2020, and then the world,
Pandemic, bam.
the world went to shit.
Yep.
So
hopefully it can pick back up for you, because that thing was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
yeah, we're still going to do it. We're going to do it in silicone.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're also going to do a latex one too, but we jumped around the idea of doing a silicone one.
Yeah, that would look cool.
So we'll see whenever it comes
It's
around.
awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, when we do, it's kind of the same process when we do custom masks. We don't do as many custom masks anymore as we used to, just because we get so busy now with our own orders that it just, the custom ones take more time and stuff. So we can only do a certain amount every year now. But it's always that process too of getting the customers' ideas and stuff and sculpting it until they like it and whatnot. And there's been a couple of people actually that it was really cool. They went to like a professional artist and got like really good concept art done of their full character.
Nice.
And brought that in, and that was super helpful because you just whip the sculpt out of what their design is and done. Because
they bring it in multiple angles too. It was great.
Yeah.
Makes
You
your
have that
job way
reference.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There was a few of those that we just whipped out real fast, and that like makes custom orders go so fast.
Well, that's the reason why I implemented the digital aspect of it. It's faster, a hell of a lot faster. It's like
Exactly.
it's, 100 times quicker. You can make big changes on the fly. You can sculpt in symmetry. You only have to do one side, and then at the the end you move over a little piece, and make it asymmetrical. Whatever.
Can you imagine if you had that when we did my face?
Oh God. Yeah, it would have been so much quicker. But it's nice because you can then, like you said, you can take those angles, the front, the side, 3/4, all that, and have that reference, and then you just sculpt. You don't have to worry about designing on the fly and sculpt, which is fun. It's nice to be able to just take a block of clay and just kind of throw it on and design something. That's always a great process too.
Exactly.
Sculpting on the fly is what they call it. So
Yeah.
so it's always good to have that reference. Yeah. I always told people whenever we did custom stuff, I'm like, and back then I didn't know the design process. I was always the one, like you said, just kind of sculpt and just come up with something. And I just told them, like, well, just kind of find features you like, find a chin you like, a forehead you like, a nose you like, and then we can kind of just mold it all together, And unless they go, oh, I want an orc from Lord of the Rings. Okay, well then I'll go in pieces and orc together.
Yeah, because that's happened.
It has happened.
That's what I mean.
So James says, like, oh, I like the orcs. I want to do like an orc. All right, cool. Lord of the Rings. It was popular then. It was super simple. But it's
Nice.
I always it's nice to be able to just like take pieces and kind of blend it all together.
Totally. Yeah, and just go right for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I want to go back a little bit, like when your guys' idea when you do your concepts. Like I know you do, like you have a clown series. So when you guys created those, because not all of them look the same, like did you have an idea for each one of them and then just went to town blind and started going like, okay, that looks good?
Pretty much, yeah. When we did the clowns, we really tried to come up. Clowns are they're everywhere. You can go to a haunt anywhere.
That's why I chose that series.
Yeah. You can go to any haunt in the world and see a clown.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I love them. I love circusy stuff. I like oddity stuff like that. But we thought about it and we were like, okay, if we're going to do clowns, we've got to do something unique that is going to be different than every other clown you see out there. And so our first one, actually, it's funny. We did our ringleader mask, which is the one with like the big hooked nose and the long chin. Mm-hmm. And that one was like one of the first masks we ever made when we first jumped into this. And it wasn't selling at all. And we were like, okay, maybe, trash this one, do a new sculpt and kind of start over. And literally like a couple of days before I was going to trash the mold, it started selling out of the blue. It just started selling like freaking hotcakes.
Adam actually he had an idea ready for another clown. Mm-hmm. And I was so he's like, let me just destroy it and make this new one. And I said, why don't you just keep it and then make a new one?
Yeah,
because I like it.
I was so thankful because that's our most popular mask right now.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I love the mask, but I was just I was a little discouraged, I will admit, because I was just like, it's not selling. Like people don't like it, Yeah. Which is the struggle of any artist.
Wait, was it because people didn't like it, or they weren't getting visibility of it? I think it started selling when it became more visible.
I think it's visibility, yeah, because we only at that time we didn't have a website. We were just solely running off Instagram, and we only had 200 something followers.
Even
definitely a visibility issue.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. Facebook was nothing.
Yeah.
We went to maybe a show, so people didn't know about us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we said, we were like, let's keep the mold until this date, and then a couple days before it started selling. So we were like, well, thankfully we kept it. Nice. And now we have remolded it 4 times because that's how popular it is. I had to duplicate the mold 4 times just to be able to cast that many at a time.
Yeah.
Because one mold just wasn't cutting it. I couldn't make them fast enough.
Yeah.
And then anyway, sorry, we got off tangent here.
No, it's okay. No, we're still on board.
Welcome to Behind the Mask, where we talk about nothing.
The ringleader got popular, and a lot of people tell us they like it because it's unique. It's different than other clowns. So thankfully that was our goal with all of our clowns, and a lot of people have said that about our ringleader mask. The other ones were just kind of we made them just to kind of have something different than the ringleader, just to have a variety and more options. We did a sad clown because some people like the sad clown versus the typical grin. We did one with like a really freaking big nose. Again, just all variety, and also because we sculpt off of a few different sized life
Faces,
casts.
yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted to make sure we had also size variety of clowns, so that for different size people. But that's kind of how our clown line went. And then we did the same thing pretty much with like our flesh facey ones, like the Leatherface style.
Yeah.
It was pretty much the same exact concept. Make a bunch because those type tend to be popular. Try to make something unique, at least a couple of unique ones within a whole lineup, and then just make different sizes and different looks.
So let's. I want to pinpoint your Leatherface type.
Yeah.
Inspired ones. What is it that's unique about it? If you can describe it, like if you guys can describe what part of it that makes it unique from the mass-produced type stuff out there.
Yeah. So.
Can I say what I get all the time?
No, yeah, please go ahead.
So comment I get all the time on them is, and I might be biased just because it's the part that I get to do, is the hand sewn stitches.
Gotcha.
On them.
Yeah.
And I get it.
I can speak firsthand. That's a bitch to do because Jeremy had something like that too.
But if you have little hands,
yeah,
it's a little easier.
True.
I'm trying to find that one on your site. Is it not on there?
Is that the one with the?
They're on there.
There's a few. I think. What do we have? Like 4 or 5?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's the one with the the removable mouthpiece, right?
Yeah. There's one that's cut out like a nose and the mouth.
Yes.
Yes.
What's it called?
There's that one with the cutout nose and mouth is called Stretched. Okay. But then there's all the flesh. Surgeon. Yeah, the Stretched and Surgeon go together.
No, Agony doesn't have.
Agony is another flesh face.
He doesn't have the.
He has hand stitches. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think all of them have hand stitches.
Do they?
Yeah.
They're all blending now.
Yeah.
See, now I'm trying to look up your shit too. Damn it.
Stitched is one of them, I think, or I think that's what it's called.
Stretched.
Oh,
Stretched.
The one I'm thinking about is the reanimated, where it has the face piece that comes off. It's all scully and bloody.
Oh, that one. It doesn't have one that comes off, but yeah, it's got like the
reanimate. You see like skull bits.
Yeah, like and everything. Yeah.
He's new.
Yeah, that's one of our new ones. But yeah, we do the hand stitches, which a lot of people at shows have come up and also mentioned that they like that it's hand stitched and that it's not just like a stitch sculpted into the mask and then painted. They like that extra little touch of realism.
Yeah.
It looks better too.
Yeah. It like I said, it gives that little bit of extra believability.
I like your please allow roughly 2 to 3 business days or business
I know.
weeks.
I gotta change that right now because we're just like we are so swamped right now. I gotta change that.
It's like, hey, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
We're pretty
right now.
Pretty busy. Hit us up next year.
Yeah. Luckily on that we've had some really chill customers that they're pretty much like, as long as I get it by September, I'm happy, which is perfect for us. We're like, you'll get it by then at least.
Well, that's the thing when it comes to the haunt industry, okay? And I have to specify the haunt industry. When it comes to customers in the haunt industry, they are super chill, super cool, and they're awesome. And they're like lifetime customers if when you get their orders done and amazingly, and they're great. I talk to some of our old customers to this day, just out of like, hey, what's up, type deal, and it's kind of cool. Now I say haunt industry because the general public are fucking idiots. And
I can understand that.
Forgive my foul language, but they.
Well, it's like what I was saying earlier. A lot of people don't realize that this is a real industry that you can make money off of, that you can not only make money but actually make a living out of too.
Well,
it's not just
a lot of people.
It's not just that. It's like, I don't understand. Like, I had to replace quite a few masks from general public, people not in haunt industry, like 5 times more than I had to replace masks for haunters.
Because they don't get what general care is.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like like haunters take care of their stuff. They know how much work gets put into it, and a good majority of them put good money into it for custom work.
We have one guy that came back to us this year. That when did he come to us? You know who I'm talking about?
Do I?
Yeah.
There's 2. 2 came to us very late in the season.
No. I'm talking about the mask that is like from when we first started. Anyway, I want to say it was like 5 years.
Yeah.
It was like 5
years ago.
5 or so years ago, and we take the time to make sure our masks are durable. Like that is durability and detail are our 2 biggest things we keep in mind when we're making anything, a mask, a costume, a prop, any of it.
Yes.
But we are like huge on durability. We stress test the heck out of anything before it goes out.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that bought a mask from us when, like I said, when we like first started like 5 years ago, and he came back to us this past haunt season, and the only thing he needed was, and it's not even that he needed the paint job, but he got a new paint job done on it and new straps, and that was it.
But he only needed the straps. The only reason why he got a new paint job was because he's like, I'd really like to implement like a little more green. And we're like, okay, we'll just do a full paint job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even a big deal. But he was just like, is that okay? And we're like, yeah, you took really good care of this. It really only needed restrap.
Like the mask was still holding its shape really well. The paint job wasn't fading or cracking or anything. He just wanted a different color.
Yeah.
And yeah, the straps were the only thing that were worn out, and it's because he had the elastic option, which sweat will just destroy that.
Yeah.
But and then on the other hand, we've had people come in with masks that are absolutely destroyed because they don't take care of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had one guy that I think he cleaned it with alcohol, cleaned the outside of it with alcohol. The inside won't bother it much, but the outside destroys the paint. So
Well, just to be on the safe side, don't do the inside.
Exactly.
Just
like
baby
if you
powder
can
that.
just stick to water on a damp cloth, you're good.
Yeah.
But and stuff like that happens. Like maybe he didn't know, and we fixed it, we repainted it anyway. But that's just or I think we even had someone come in that they like threw their mask on the bottom of their box underneath all their sliding gear and stuff, and it's just like, of course your mask is gonna last
all stuck together.
Season.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, or like the one we had a customer that knew, like they purposefully bought 2 because they're like, we're working a car wash.
Yeah.
So we know it is going to get destroyed. We're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got to have multiples if you can do it.
Exactly. But for the most part, the haunters, the serious haunters really know how to take care of their stuff. They know what's delicate and what needs more care, and they take it more serious, I guess.
They do. Well, like the car wash haunter, like he knew how to still take care of it, even though
it's being soaped and just ruined basically every night.
Well, the thing is too is like, by nature, latex breaks down over time anyway.
Yeah. But
So for something to go through, for something to go through 5 years with a lot of use and still hold up is great.
Yeah. Exactly. And especially, you guys know how it is. You're out there sweating your butts off, and that latex is just going to absorb all that sweat, and that's what's going to eventually turn it brittle. And depending on how much you're using it, it's almost like the more you use it, the more you want to take care of it.
Yeah.
Because you obviously want to stretch it. But we were shocked when that one customer of ours came in this past season, and we were looking at his mask just like, you took really good care of this thing.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see that. And it's nothing to say that we don't like trust the quality. It was just shocking to see how well he took care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after 5 years.
Exactly. So
that was my experience with Lucifer. Sorry, tongue twister. I know. The older you get, the less you can speak. Just so you know. Lucifer. That guy would put it on a head thing. He had foam
head
surrounding
foam.
it. He put a bag over it. Man, he babied
Yeah.
that thing. Like when he had that and he had it next to his hunt box, it looked like a display. Like he was just showing off and I was always proud of that because I was like, dude, this
And that was your very first piece.
very first piece.
That's cool.
And
I didn't
That
know you
mold
made
was
that one.
that mold was a bitch to pour though, man.
It was.
Oh my
just-
god.
I didn't know what I was
Is
doing.
that a full head?
It's a
Base.
no, it's a half. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
half, and then
Yeah, I didn't know you made that
Okay.
one. That's cool.
yeah, and then it has a strap. I
awesome.
I literally just threw away the very first pull I did.
Because it
Nice.
fell apart, right?
Yeah, I showed. If you go to Lucifer's episode, I show it on Lucifer. Yeah, man, it's a mess.
I think I started watching that one. I was doing a job recently, one of those security jobs, and it was when you guys like first put out one of like your first episode. Like I know it wouldn't have been your first because there was like 5 episodes up or something like that, and it was a night job, so I just like watched all of them.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I was lucky enough, like, because I asked him for the mold because I sold him the mold, and he still
Yeah.
has it. And I asked him like, "Hey, dude, can I borrow the mold and do a pull?" And I was gonna do a full like hair it, all of it. And
That's cool.
I went down and I got the mold. Excuse me. And it just I brought it home, and I just like every day I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And I just got to the point where I'm like, I don't want to do it.
It's always getting started.
And
It's
it's
hard.
so much, and it's not the pull, it's not the mold, it's none of that. It is literally thinking about hairing it. And I was excited about the paint job because I was going to do a different paint job on it.
Should have just made a bald wolf.
And it was just
face only.
hairing it, and because I wanted to go the full route. And anyways, long story short, he gave me one of his, fully done haired
Oh,
pieces
that's cool.
to patch up.
Nice.
And I go, all right, dude. I go, how much do you want for this? I don't want to patch it first off. I just have too much going on. And I go, how much do you want for it? He's like, dude, it's yours.
Oh,
So he gave
that's
it
cool.
to me. So that's what this is here. Where is it?
Oh, that's
I don't know
cool.
if
That's
see it.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
can kinda
it's
see it.
yeah, it's fucking rad. I love
That's
it.
awesome.
So like every time I come in, I look at it and I'm like, it just brings back nostalgia, and like
That's so cool.
I love it.
I love that feeling too. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I still had the first mask I made. It was a disaster,
Oh,
but
you have a picture of it.
I do. Yeah, it was a disaster. I molded it. I sculpted it in like some dirt cheap clay from Michael's, and then I molded it with freaking plaster of Paris. Didn't think of undercuts at all, so the head got stuck in it, the armature.
Yeah.
The shoulders of the armature broke off, and I had to dig the entire head out by like chiseling away at the foam. And even then, the plaster mold literally split in half because it was plaster of Paris. I literally taped it back together with Scotch tape.
Oh wow.
I was like, I think I was 13 when I made this thing, by the way. I guess I should put that out there.
Nothing
Hey, it
wrong
was your
with
first
that.
go round, dude.
That's awesome. Man. I mean, that's how it is for everybody, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
poured it with Spirit Halloween makeup latex, and I think I strapped it by putting a couple holes in it and tying shoelaces on it. But yeah, I wish I still had that thing, but it deteriorated so fast it's not even funny.
Well, not sure if you already know this, but I'm going to share this tidbit of information for you. If you want a good trick to eliminate the undercuts,
Yeah.
just put it under a light and just trace around the shadow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, nowadays when we do like a full just a face mask, like most of what we sell,
Yeah.
we literally just build clay like in a slope all the way down to a piece of wood,
Right.
and then that becomes the mold. So
Yeah.
undercuts nowadays aren't too bad. Even when we do full heads, we use a really small head armature and just layer up the clay.
Yep.
And I think it's helpful having the double eyes on it.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah. Anytime before I mold something, I always get her and I'm like, "Hey, last look. What do you think?"
Yeah. Well, it helps to because I noticed the way you guys cast, it helps to cover the ears too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because the ears are the fucking thing that usually catches that and right here.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if you have somebody that has a really prominent jaw,
Uh-huh.
screwed. But the last mask that I made and molded, it got destroyed. It got stuck and destroyed. Yeah, because
We've had that before.
so many other it wasn't.
Oh
really,
yeah, we were. That was the one you did off the Joe Human head that we had to pry out.
It wasn't. Yeah. It was. It wasn't necessarily the undercuts. It was pressure.
Oh yeah.
It just the air got trapped in there, and it was
like a vacuum.
It was a vacuum seal.
We had the same exact thing this past season.
Yeah.
We made a very large mask that had very large horns, and everything. Everything went great. It was a full head mask. Well, it was going to be a full head mask. And everything went great. Sculpting was great. Even the mold making was really simple and great. And when we went to demold it, I'm pretty sure it was the same exact thing. Whatever happened inside the mold when we were prying it apart busted the entire thing into a bunch of pieces, except for the face. And I'm not kidding you when I say the cracks literally went and made it into a face mask.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise, though, because the customer wanted like the bigger the better, basically. And so being that we made it into a face mask instead of a full head, we were able to make the horns separately and make them even bigger than they were originally going to be.
Oh, nice.
That's perfect.
So it all worked out in the end. But yeah, it was also a very last minute project. Haunt had actually already started and we were still working on it. He got the mask, I think, a week or two into Haunt. And this was for Scary Farm. And when that mold busted,
the goat?
No, it was the bull.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you did the bull, huh?
Yeah. And
in Ghost Town? Dude.
Yeah.
He has a fucking
dude on stilts.
Oh my god, he's got a sick costume. I want to get him on here.
Yeah, that mask was super fun to make, but the mold busting was very stressful. And when it did bust, like Haunt had already started, so we were just like, "What do we do? Like, what the heck do we do?"
I was also working Haunt for my very first year that year.
Yeah.
So like just stress.
Yeah.
On stress.
Time was not on your side.
Not at all.
But we looked at the mold, realized the face was still good, and we were like, you know what? This thing is going to be a pain in the ass to cast, but let's do it.
Nice.
So it all worked out in the end, and he looked super cool in it. So I can't say I'm mad about anything.
Yeah, no, that costume was legit. I remember the first time I saw him, like, that's fucking rad.
We were originally supposed to also do the costume, but because of just timing and everything, we couldn't do the body part. And
I literally like walked him through it.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, okay, so here's the costumer side. This is what you need to do. I just physically don't have the time to do it because I'm making your mask.
But he's also like a theater person too, so he is talented in crafting stuff.
And he can
like
sew
that.
and stuff too.
Yeah.
So I really just had to like map it in a way, like an easy map for him to understand. And then he was like, "Cool, I got it. Thanks."
I got it. Yeah. Piece of cake.
Yeah,
he
so
nailed
that was
it.
rad.
Yeah, he nailed it because it looks freaking rad.
Yeah, it looks so good.
It was super fun to make. The horns were actually like, honestly,
they were so cool.
That was our first time like making large horns like that, and that was pretty cool because they were just the EVA foam. But like after getting the structure of them built and doing like the detailing and stuff, that was really fun.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be doing more of those in the future.
Cosplay at its best.
Yeah. And super lightweight and stuff.
Oh yeah. Just put them on like some headbands. What did you guys use to put them on to wear it?
We'd used if you've ever heard of Warbler.
Yeah.
It's like a
foam. It's
plastic
foam.
Yeah, it's like plastic. It's I don't know, it's a really weird material. You heat it up and it gets like really floppy, but when it cools down it's like a really hard plastic.
Yeah, it hardens up.
Yeah,
into the form you make it. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of
exactly. So we actually made a helmet out of warbler, and on the helmet there's like these two little stumps for the horns,
Mhm.
and then we embedded magnets in the
Oh.
inside of the horn and
Click.
on the
Yeah.
stumps,
Perfect.
so that he could take it off and put it in his box every night.
Oh, that's rad.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was also kind of a plus of the mold breaking, was that he was able to fit the whole thing in his box.
Yeah, which you wouldn't have been able to before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked
That's-
out.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that was okay. That was 2017.
No, that was last year.
Last year.
Welcome to the conversation.
No, wait. No, he was there. He was there pre-pandemic as the bull, wasn't he?
He
Yes.
started was it 2017?
Yeah.
As a bull?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it was
Yes.
the year after I had left. And
Yeah,
my
because I
last
got
year
to
was
work with him
2016,
for one
yeah.
year.
Yeah, he was the
Uh-huh.
bull already.
Because I worked with him for 1
Sorry,
year.
he's been there for a long time. So I was just like, when was he the bull?
Yeah.
But yeah, he started there. He just had a different costume. He wasn't on stilts yet.
Yeah.
So it just evolved over the years until
Yeah.
he became this freaking
It's so cool.
massive thing.
Yeah.
Did you guys help him integrate the stilts, or was that something he did?
He did it actually, yeah,
Okay.
because he already knew how to stilt walk, and he really wanted to just make this character like larger
Bigger
than
than
life
life,
and just
yeah.
this freaking elephant size, you know.
Yeah.
And so he asked Knots. He was like, "Hey, can I stilt walk in Ghost Town?" And they allowed him to do it. So that's when he was like, "All right, let's do it. We're going full in." They approved it.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked great.
Yeah, it was super fun. I'll never forget. I got to go one time as a guest this past season towards the end of the run, and I was looking all night for him. It was ironic, him being like the biggest, physically
He
the
was
biggest
hard to
character.
find.
And you
I
can't
couldn't
find him.
anywhere. And I thought, what's that? What do they call that area that's between Fog Alley and that other road? It's really dark.
Market Street
Yeah, I
and Fog
think
Alley. That's Kmart Alley.
Where the barn
Yeah.
is?
Are you
Yeah,
talking
it's
about
like-
next to the general store in the barn, going from the windmill towards the old stage? Yeah, that's Kmart
Yeah.
Alley.
Yeah, so that little section is where I finally saw him, and like I said, it's
I
like
didn't know how to name.
it's like
Yeah.
super dark there, you know, but it's always like really dense fog there too because it just sticks.
Yeah.
And there's that one light that they put in there that's like a purpley spotlight.
Uh-huh.
And we came around that corner. It was just me and my dad. And we came around that corner, and he was coming towards us, and we just saw his like silhouette, and I was just like, holy crap. Like, it's cool to see pictures because you're like, yeah, he's huge, but when you see him in person, it's like another level.
Yeah. It's
Well,
crazy.
yeah,
too,
he's
'cause-
like 9-10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy
You
because he
know?
doesn't stop. So like
Yeah, he
when
doesn't.
I was last there, I tried taking pictures of him and he just wouldn't stop. I'm like,
Yeah, he just keeps going. Yeah.
yeah.
Probably more comfortable for him to keep walking.
Probably.
Yeah.
It balance wise too. It probably helps out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, okay, now we're at this stage where you guys you've been creating a lot of things, and now you're moving into the convention / trade show world. Let's touch on that a little bit, like where you started and where the hell the fiasco is now. The good on the good side of it.
So that's where the fun begins.
Yeah.
The first show we did was technically Spook Show. I don't even know. Do they still do that one at Halloween
Yeah.
Club? Halloween Club?
Halloween Club, yeah.
Yeah.
Calling Club?
So
Yeah.
we
The
did.
parking lot?
Yeah, in the parking lot. You know, a 10x10 booth spot was $100. So, you know, we were like,
And
yeah,
budget.
of course.
Which I was
Yeah.
I'm very shocked on.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I have a hate relationship with Halloween Club. I cannot stand those people.
I don't know. It was a cool show, but like it was our first time show. We had a really bad pop-up tent that was barely standing. We put really, really awful walls up that the tent itself
You're
was just
starting
a
out, man.
wreck. Yeah, it was a wreck, but that's all we had. So
Yeah.
Dude, if you saw my first setup, oh god.
they're always awful. Like you got to work with what you got, and sometimes what you got is not the greatest.
Yeah. So
But
how did you do in the show?
The show itself was okay. We didn't really sell a lot. We made the booth costs back like a lot of first time show
with my
vendors do.
bows.
Yeah.
With
Because
your
at that
bows?
point we didn't really know what we were doing. That's how long ago this was.
Yeah.
We really didn't know what our target audience was. We were just kind of crafting whatever we thought was cool.
I have 2 of them left.
Yeah.
Because I kept them for sentimental reasons.
Yeah,
Well,
there
of
you go.
course.
But they're
Have
these little
to.
hair bows, and we sculpted little like skull. We did what, a
A
skull?
skull, a planchette,
Yeah, a Ouija board, planchette,
and then a heart, but not like a.
Oh, like an anatomical heart.
Uh-huh.
And they're these little resin pendants
Just
to put on the bow.
like in the center.
People loved them, so
Dude, that works.
those literally helped us make the $100 back.
Yeah,
I think we ended up coming out with like 200 or something,
I
but
think so.
it was more so just kind of a fun experience.
Yeah.
We sold
Um,
like a couple of masks and then like bows.
Yeah.
Just that's what made it back, which
Well,
I thought
at
was
least,
hilarious.
at least you know what to put back into your inventory. Bows.
Yeah, bows.
Why not?
But the setup itself, we literally just had like a pop-up 6-foot table
Mhm.
with like a rigged up PVC pipe stand with 5 masks on it, and then bows,
And
bows.
and that was pretty much
Like
it.
scattered throughout the whole table.
So
Hey,
like
you
the
gotta do
most
it.
basic setup you could have. But yeah, I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere, right? So that
Yeah,
was our
exactly.
introduction to shows.
Mhm.
And from there we went on to we kind of took a break and just said, let's not do shows, let's up our inventory, let's do this the right way. And then a few years later we signed up for Midsummer Scream.
That was your second
and-
show?
That was going to be our
Supposed
second
to
show.
Oh, okay.
But then 2020 hit, because like I said, we literally took like a 2 or 3 year break between our first show and signing up for Midsummer.
Yeah.
Right.
And then 2020 hit, and needless to say, that all happened.
Yeah.
2021 show got pushed back again, and then finally this year they're doing it. So we're excited for that.
We'll be there.
well,
We'll
you
finally
did.
get
You guys,
Midsummer.
you skipped one. Spirit Awakens.
Oh, yes.
Awaken.
Yeah.
Awaken the spirits. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Awaken the spirits. Yeah.
Awaken the Spirits popped up, which was super nice in place of Midsummer for 2021.
Your booth,
Um,
your guys' booth looks pretty
It was
solid
cool.
there.
Dude, you're right at the
Thanks.
door. Like perfect
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, they hooked it up big time.
That was
He
awesome.
did.
They really came through and hooked us up with that, which was super nice of them.
Yeah. Good people.
And helped us out a ton because that show was awesome.
Yeah.
That
And
was like our first big show that we had a good inventory for. We kind of had a good idea of what to expect after talking to some friends that had done shows and stuff and that are in the industry. So we really went into that with more of a better stance on things.
Yeah. And then that led us into, because the same owners company,
For Spooky Swap Meet.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do Spooky Swap Meet. So then they told us about that.
Uh-huh.
So we got to do that year. One was last year.
Yep. And that went great too.
Mhm.
That one's nice because it's kind of like whatever we made too many of for another show, or old Halloween stuff that we need to get rid of to make more storage space or whatever, stuff like that.
Prototypes that we don't actually want to use.
Exactly. Stuff that was like a trashed idea or whatever. That show is awesome for that stuff because they really like when you bring that style of stuff.
Yeah.
They,
So
they
for a
want to
company,
see the stuff that they have in their stores, basically.
yeah, exactly. So for a company like us who's mostly making stuff that is going to sell at a larger show that's fully completed product,
Yeah.
that show's nice because we don't have to throw away trash poles or something. If we get a pole of a mask that's got bubbles in it, someone will buy it at Spooky Swap Meet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is super nice.
They can make something of their own out of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or like right now, one of the things we're taking to Spooky Swap Meet this year is a couple of masks that we have already. Like one of them is our bat, and we normally the like standard version of the bat is like a icy version, so it's like white and purple and pink or whatever, blue. And then the hair is all white. It's fully haired with all white hair. Well, we were trying to work on a cave bat version, so it was more browns and stuff. Yeah, and it never got finished. It got painted and it never got to the hair, and it's been sitting in our shop for seriously like 3 years, and it's been untouched.
It also has like the wrong straps.
Yeah.
For it.
So that's one that's going to Spooky Swap Meet, because we just said, you know what, this thing's not going to get finished, and if it is going to get finished, we're going to redo the paint job anyway. Yeah. So just sell this one at Spooky Swap Meet for cheap and call it good. Yeah. So, but this year we're also doing a house. We're a sponsor for Spooky Swap Meet. So this year is going to be even bigger. We've got the house that LA Haunted Hayride had last year. So we also get like an additional garden, which is really cool. So we get the house to decorate and a full garden.
That's cool.
So I won't say what we're doing yet, but I will say that people will lose their heads over it.
He's just throwing it out there a little bit.
So
and then the show
bunch of heads in the garden.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
When is a Spooky Swap Meet?
That's coming up, right?
It's
2 weeks.
Not even. It's next week.
Well, it's not this weekend. It's the following weekend. So I count that as 2 weeks.
So a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
So
the show that like I think made us feel like we did it. This is, it was definitely a dream of his. Not that it wasn't a dream of mine, it became a dream of mine.
I was just gonna say it became one.
It became a dream of mine. But like he always knew about it as a kid, and I didn't know how much that all of this was, right? So I'm the theater kid. I came from doing props and costuming for theater productions, for small movies and stuff, and the film industry. That's my background. So when I got to like come into this, and I absolutely love it, I didn't realize that these shows, there's like a level of the different shows. And so once I discovered what Transworld was,
I was saying you better be talking about that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that's when I was just like, whoa, okay, yeah, this is my new dream of like, we need to go here. He's known about it since you were, what, you said 13 maybe? 14?
I was literally that kid that used to sit, like my hobby when I had free time was to sit on the computer and watch walkthrough videos of Transworld when I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was like my go-to thing. I'd pull up YouTube and just search Transworld walkthrough. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a longer dream for him than it was for me. It was like a newer dream for me, but it was really exciting that we were able to go last month. So it was our first year going, and we actually got to go to Transworld. And
first year me.
So
yeah.
So talk about your experience being a vendor there.
So it was surreal when we first walked in for the setup day. I was just kind of like taken back and just literally I think we stopped in the doorway and we were just like, we're here.
It's happening.
Like we're all the way freaking in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
Here.
Shitballs, we're here.
Yeah.
We're at the show.
And I mean, what was cool too was that like we didn't, I didn't know as a kid that I'd even go to it, let alone my first time going to it would be to sell my creations. Like I never thought that would happen. So that was pretty cool. And like I said, it's just super surreal, very like sentimental moment. We go in on our first setup day, and we had a little bit of anxiety at first because everybody around us had their freight shipments already, and they were just going to town setting up, and we were like the only ones that didn't have it yet.
You're like, where's our shit?
Because we just freighted all of our booth stuff there, all of our product and everything, and it was a little anxiety in us because we also knew how much those boxes that we shipped cost. Not just for the freight, but what's inside of them, So we had to like run around and talk to a bunch of different people to try to find our stuff, and
it all got sorted out.
It all got sorted out. Yeah, so everything worked out, but it was a little scary at first. We got everything set up, and got to know our neighbors a little bit. They were super cool people. A lot of first timers as well. So that was kind of nice to know that we weren't the only first timers there.
Yeah.
Well, my
it was
cousin
cool,
was
though.
a first timer too for his company.
Yeah, it was nice
Yeah.
having Rib there actually,
Yeah.
because just to have like
Other
somebody else
people,
that's
yeah.
first time.
Other people we know too already, like having
Yeah.
other friends there, that was cool. We actually knew some people already.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show was awesome. We had a 10 by 10 corner spot, so we had good traffic flow the whole show. Met a lot of really cool people. Packed our year. We're packed for the year basically. Of course, if we get website orders, still we'll take them. But as far as like large orders, we're booked.
Yeah. No customs, no large orders.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done with custom orders as of right now, depending on how quickly we can crank out the orders from Trans World. But as of right now, yeah, we're not going to be taking any more custom orders. Yeah, it was just a cool show. We met some really awesome people, made some really cool connections. Some of the sales we made were to some really cool people. I mean, all of them were to cool people, but some of the larger sales that are going to like the more professional, larger haunts are some big names. So it's exciting. It's a heavy weight to carry, but it's very exciting.
Yeah. The stress level and the excitement are kind of right there, the same.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still a small company. We're not, by no means are we a large company. Like I said,
it's the two of us.
It's two of us and occasionally some additional help. So
it's all right, man. A couple more years in Trans World, man. That'll change it. And
that's what everybody has been telling us. All the friends that we have that have been doing it, their words of encouragement are, keep coming back no matter what. Just keep coming back.
Yeah.
So
if you can do it, do it.
Yeah. So we are happy to say that we'll be back next year. We already booked our spot and we're set. So it's just a waiting game.
Yeah. I think Rib booked this spot too again for next year.
Yeah. It's a smart move. When they came around at the end of the show and were telling people that if they want to go book it, I was like, let's do it. Let's just go.
Did you book the same spot or did you find somewhere else where there's more traffic?
So we can talk about it, right?
We can talk about it.
So we don't know where we're gonna be yet. We did put on the paper that we want to talk about it. So we put basically like a call us thing.
Yeah.
But we do have a bigger booth. We're gonna have a 10 by 20. We're gonna have a 10 by 20, and we're gonna have an end cap. We bought two corner spots.
Oh, that's bitchin'. So you're gonna be right there.
Yeah. So along with that, between now and next year's Trans World, we are gonna be really cranking out some new and big things.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I know the window's a little bit shorter because it got bumped to February.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cold
because of the renovation too.
Yeah.
So now they're gonna get moved back 2 halls further back.
Yeah.
Because the 2 halls in the front are supposedly supposed to be completely under renovation at the time.
Exactly. Which I hope is a good thing though, because that'll give us more time to work on orders.
Yeah.
I just hope it doesn't deter the haunt owners from buying stuff that early,
Yeah.
It won't.
But I don't think it will, because it's not like we're not talking like 3 or 4 months. We're talking a month.
Not
So
even a month.
I don't think it will be a problem.
Yeah.
But either way, it's good for us because it gives us more space to take more orders.
Yeah.
Trans World
Most of
wouldn't
those-
push it if they didn't think that. If they thought it was going to hurt their vendors, they wouldn't push it. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
and plus-
They understand that professionalism.
Yeah, but they
Well, the
also
thing is, too, is-
haunts always get their shit together, ahead of time.
Yeah.
They have to because it's a ton of work. So
Yeah.
A lot of those guys too, a lot of those big guys that come to Trans World to buy, they already have their budgets at the end of the haunt prior to that show, so they're already looking at that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
theming and everything.
Without divulging information, did you guys hit your mark or surpass it?
We surpassed it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and that was a really cool thing because we were talking to a lot of the neighbors around us and stuff, and A lot of them hit their mark, which is great.
Yeah.
But to know that we were one of the few first timers that surpassed it was, it was humbling, to say the least. It was very humbling to know that we surpassed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's multiple factors on that. So
Yeah.
you guys have
Uh-huh.
great products, but you also have good personalities. So
Yeah, and we try to, thank you. We try to be
it helps.
we try to be very sociable with our customers and stuff, but not push like super salesman pitch type stuff,
Yeah.
We want people when they come into our booth to feel welcome, but not pressured to buy stuff.
Yeah.
We also really try to let our customers talk about themselves. It's good to talk about your company and talk about your product.
Yep.
But one thing we really love to do is just talk to these people, because when it comes down to it, no matter how small or big they are just haunt nerds like us. They just love to talk about this stuff.
Exactly.
But it also gives you insight on what their needs may be.
Exactly. So we will literally, we'll talk about our stuff a little bit, but then we'll turn it and open the floor for our customers to talk to us. And that's how we got to meet a lot of really cool people at Transworld, was because we just strike up conversation and really want to know who our customers are.
Right.
We don't want our customers to just be a name or a number on a list of stuff that we have to do.
Yeah.
We want to know who they are, what we're working, for, basically.
Right.
Yeah. That's great. I'm glad I'm glad you guys did so well.
Thanks.
I went and talked to you guys every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You
it
got
was super
chocolate.
cool.
Yeah.
Got chocolate all the time
Chocolate
too.
snacks.
Yeah, I mean, I say Rib was his first year, but it was under his own business.
Mhm.
I mean, he had been there years before, but he completely surpassed his goal too. So
Well,
Great.
same thing. Like quality product, good detail, a good inventory as well. You've got plenty of stuff to
Yeah.
choose from. So
And
yeah.
the uniqueness. 'Cause I've
Exactly.
always said that about his stuff too. It's so
Yeah.
unique.
like there,
Yeah.
there's plenty of people at Transworld that do body props and stuff like that, or monster, full body monster props.
Mhm.
But Rib's got a super unique take on it.
Yeah.
And you know what else he has
Style.
unique? An 11-foot fucking fish.
That thing is insane. dude. Like,
Crazy.
I'll never forget when we walked by the second time when we were done setting up,
Yeah.
and we chatted with you guys for a bit, and you guys had that thing up at that point, and I was just like, holy cow, that's a freaking fish, my guy. That is a fish if I've ever seen one.
Well, I have a
Yeah.
picture with it.
Yeah.
Remember?
That's
I
cool.
That's the
actually
thing
went
too. Like when
into-
we were setting up, we tried to make it so people could step into the rig and do
Yeah.
a photo op with it.
I did that.
Yeah, we did that.
I
one
actually
morning.
stepped in.
When we were walking in, we on one of the last days, we just walked all the aisles up to our booth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this was after you had told us about that. So we went over and we were like, get in that photo op.
Get in it.
Yeah. It's like you can't miss his booth because that thing is so tall.
Yeah. No,
You know what I
it
mean?
totally draws attention
It
for
was
sure.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
bummer he couldn't bring his dolphin too.
Yeah.
I know that thing turned out really cool.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one in person yet, but that fish was awesome.
Yeah.
That thing was
Yeah.
so awesome.
All of that stuff. I mean, even just walking the floor at Transworld, seeing all the different companies and their different ideas and stuff. I think that's what's
Yeah.
cool, is that there was a booth not too far from you guys too, that it was the same concept. It was body props, large monsters and stuff, but it was you would see something there that you wouldn't see anywhere else on that show floor.
Mhm.
Right.
It was just something about his stuff was just so unique. I
Yeah.
forget the name of the company, but I know he wasn't far from you guys. But
Yeah. He was probably within
just-
line of sight.
yeah, it was just
Yeah.
really cool stuff, and there's few companies that have that aspect of really unique things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so cool to just walk it before, everyone else got to come in and see everything. And then even just seeing all the people walk through, I was a professional elf. I am an elf. So seeing Santa just walk around
Yeah.
and compliment your stuff is one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah.
we made a pretty good sized sale at Transworld to a Christmas company,
Yeah.
and
Oh, wow.
it was some masks. So I'm like, they like none of like the only Christmassy stuff we have is we have a creepy elf and a creepy Santa,
Which
a
they didn't buy
mask.
either of.
And they didn't buy either of those.
No.
But they were a
One of the
Christmas
darker
company.
shit.
Go figure.
Yeah, so that was funny, but
Yeah,
that's
but
what's
it was
that's
so
what's
cool.
too,
Like
you know?
talking
Yeah.
to Santa and
Yeah.
Santa just complimenting, your spooky stuff.
Didn't he pull
Yeah.
out like his ID too? And
He
it was
did,
it was
and
like
it literally
a Santa
said-
ID.
Yeah,
What?
it was Santa.
That's
Legit.
crazy.
Ah.
Like, I didn't even get a chance to walk the entire show because we were busy, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I didn't want to not be at the booth during operating hours.
Yeah,
I'd rather have the others go do their thing, and I'm there to help them out.
yeah.
When
Yeah, that's what we tried to get there early
Mm-hmm.
so we could walk the floor before it opened.
We just
Yeah.
did like a little bit every day, you know.
A little
Yeah.
area.
We
every time.
actually we walked pretty much all of it on the last setup day.
Oh,
So
okay.
people were obviously still setting up, but like at the end of the day, we just were like, let's just go walk the whole floor real
Yeah,
quick.
because Christmas area was still like being built, but
Yeah.
we got to see the tree that hit the ceiling because it was too big.
Did you see that one?
No.
It was literally in the catwalks. Like you couldn't really see the
Yeah.
star on top.
The star was
because
being
Wow.
smashed because it was hitting the catwalks. Like it was
That's
smashed up in there.
insane.
Yeah.
What was cool for me though is Jeremy, I sent you pictures from them. Zagoni Studios, the mask company.
I didn't see their booth.
Yeah, where were they?
They were very close to you guys on a center aisle.
I don't remember seeing theirs.
I don't
I
either.
knew they were there. I don't remember seeing them.
They didn't have a huge big display or anything. They had
Maybe that's why.
they had racks with their masks on it and
Yeah,
inventory
because they
behind
do.
it.
Don't they do like a grid wall display?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for Jeremy and he and I had the exact same Zagoni mask back in the 90s. And they
That's cool.
still have it to this day.
Yep.
What?
And I was talking to him, it's a family run business.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
cool.
grandson, I talked to the grandson of the original owner,
Yeah.
and I was talking to him about it. I said, yeah, me and a buddy of mine have this exact mask, just in a different color in the original paint scheme. And he went on to tell me, he's like, we still pour that mask with the exact same mold from back then.
That's
Wow.
insane.
That's
Yeah.
and with how many they make, dude, that mold has seen some stories. I bet.
Yeah.
That's
So,
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
they're
insane. Like,
they're an impressive company. Very impressive.
Yeah.
And
They're-
very-
they're like-
straight into the point with the things they make, and those are the hot sellers for them.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
this.
I'm
stuff.
bummed that we didn't get to see them. I
Yeah.
was super
Yeah.
Yeah,
bummed.
they're literally the haunt mask company.
Yeah.
They just don't know it, or maybe
Yeah.
they do. Who knows? But
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about their mask is, back then it was the go-to material, but the hood, because it was a cool
like a
mask. The
sock
hood
mask?
was it was a sock mask, but it was cotton, and you can't really wash it.
yeah,
Yeah.
So once it gets sweaty, it gets super stretched out, and then it starts falling forward.
it gets loose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like we did the ringleader ensembles that we do, they come with the whole cone hat, collar
Yeah.
and everything. We had thought about it. We were like, we could just make this a sock mask and literally just glue the head sock to the edge of the face mask. But we thought about the same thing. We were like, people can't wash it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna stretch, it's gonna get worn out, it's gonna smell like
Mhm.
awfully, you know.
Forms of spandex actually last a lot longer.
That's what we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
But
did
we
the
thought about
four-way
it, we were like,
stretch.
yeah, we offer the two strapping methods that are like the typical little elastic ties or like a heavy duty T strap.
Yeah.
And we thought about it, we were like, the elastic ties work underneath the head sock. Like there's nothing wrong with
They're
that.
pretty discreet.
Yeah.
So why not, you know? And it just works out. So luckily we didn't have to do the head sock, like the whole head sock mask.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we
I don't
did.
know. We did one actually. We did
We did.
we did
We
like
tried
a-
it.
I forgot what mask we did it on, but we did try a head sock mask, and it just it wasn't that great. So we
No.
also like halfway finished it, but then somebody bought it. So
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever works.
we did our own socks for a long time, and it was great. And we glued them on, and then I don't know. At some point, I decided to do a T-strap. I got the thick black industrial.
Yeah, the 2-inch wide.
2-inch wide stuff, and just did a T-strap and started putting it over the hood, and we just did the hood separate. And then it just got to a point where I'm like, dude, we got rid of the hoods. People were like, oh, can I just have it without the hood? Yeah. So we just got rid of the hoods, and that was a game changer, and just did T-straps.
Yeah.
Yeah, because initially, like when he did, because I think I told you guys, he's done the last 2 generations of my character sculpting.
Yeah.
So on my pullover initially, I'm like, I want a sock on it, but spandex so it doesn't totally stretch.
Yeah.
I ran with that for maybe a half a season. I said, I'm getting rid of this thing. And then we put a T-strap on it, and that was so much better. So what I did was I got a Heat Gear Under Armour hood. I wore that and then put the mask over it with the T-strap, and then I did my bandana and do-rag. So it was still black, but I could take off the mask without taking off the hood if I didn't want to. So it was way more, beneficial.
Yeah, exactly.
So it worked out.
That's cool.
Yeah. So what are your guys's, I know you guys are building right now, I mean, for this haunt season, but if you can talk about, what are your guys' future plans for the company, like going forward? I mean, you guys have any big things you want to talk about or can talk about?
Yeah. I think we can talk about some of the stuff we got planned for Trans World.
Yeah.
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 So for Trans World next year, we do want to jump into like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, some larger things. So with that, mostly props. As far as costumes go, we really only are doing custom costumes right now, because trying to in our situation right now with the size shop we have and everything, trying to build a costume inventory along with props and masks is really tricky.
Yeah.
So
we're running out of space really, really fast.
Yeah. The shop is this big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have 1 square foot. But the props and the masks are more, I guess I could just say they're easier in our situation to build an inventory on.
Yeah.
So right now we're just taking custom costumes pretty much. The only thing we really market for costumes is the clown suits, because those are easier to make for the way that we make them. But for Trans World next year, we want to jump into larger props and obviously more masks. So we really are we're gonna plan to bring in a lot of guest sculptors, and then I'll be sculpting myself probably from like October through December, and just really just sculpt mold a bunch of new designs.
Yeah.
To really up that inventory for masks, and then
a new line. I have a new line.
A new line of masks in general.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that, or you
No.
want to?
That's up to you. That's cool. It's new.
That's confidential.
Well, you can.
It's probably better you don't.
You can talk
Yeah.
about it. I can cut it out, because now I'm curious.
Wait till after we go off air.
Yeah, we'll tell you after.
Thank you for not making me do an edit.
Yeah.
Save you an edit.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I'll leave the specific details out. But yeah, larger props, more props as well. We're gonna really push detail, so trying to get good detailed products. And then, like I said, we've got 2 10x10s, and they're double corners. So we're also going to do something very I should say we plan to do something very I will say elaborate, I guess, as far as the display goes.
Cool.
Nice.
And then aside from that, just continuing to do shows. So we, like I said, we've got Spooky Swap Meet coming up. We're doing a full house sponsor for that.
Are you guys doing Midsummer in July?
Yep. We'll be at Midsummer right after Spooky Swap Meet. And then
possibly with those, and then with future things as well, we are adding a lot of photo op opportunities. So we are trying to do more sponsorships and really working with some of the owners of these events to do more sponsorship, so we
That's
can
awesome.
do some of these cool
Yeah.
facades and photo oppy
Hoppy.
areas,
Photo
I guess.
hoppy? Yeah.
Photo oppy
Well-
things.
Well, like Spirit Awakens, they had a number of those, the photo ops.
Mhm.
So I totally get that.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing
Yeah,
one
that's
this year?
What's that?
Are you gonna do one at Spirit Awakens? Or I'm sorry, not Spirit Awakens, but Midsummer. A photo op thing.
Stay
Say no
tuned.
more. Say no
Yeah.
more. Say no more. Say no more.
Yeah.
we're
Well, there's
working
also-
on it.
there's also-
I saw Jess's face and I'm like, oh, they're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
There's
I will say we're working
there's also
on it. That's
season
for sure.
screenings in December too.
Yeah.
Don't forget about
And-
that.
We are considering that. It's not confirmed right now, but it honestly, that one just depends on what's going on with Transworld prep at that time.
Right.
I would love to do it. It also depends on what time of year they do that show at, because like this past season, I think the only big thing that prevented us from saying, yeah, let's do it, was the fact that it was really close to Christmas time. And all the haunts that do Christmassy themes and stuff, they're done, or they're almost done by that point.
They didn't need
anything,
that
you
we
know.
would have.
Yeah.
It would have been more so
They
us
have it
trying to
by that
sell
point.
stuff to the general public, which is
Yeah.
hard for us because we don't really make stuff that the general public is interested in.
Like your little keychains and stuff, but that's not where your money is.
Exactly. Like I don't know if we could
Or
necessarily.
is it? Because bows.
Bows.
People do like the keychains, the little toes and ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some new versions coming out soon.
And those
Okay.
are
Okay.
show specific. We don't sell those on our website. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are like the
Show
little
them.
trinkets, like you can only get them here. Can't
Yeah.
buy them, you know.
Yep. But yeah, we want to do that show. It just depends on when it's going to be and what we would do. If anything, a photo op would be awesome to do. I would love to just do a photo op and not really worry about having to sell at it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, also stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, it's all good.
Cool.
I knew there was things you couldn't talk about.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
want to do that one. It's just a matter of what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. The timing on it. So
Yeah, but we will, no matter what, we will be at Midsummer. We will be selling at Midsummer for sure.
well, I'll see you guys there for sure.
Yeah, so we will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So I think we covered your guys's the gambit of your business, your history, all the way up to speed. I'm super excited to see now, even more so, what you guys have coming out, especially Transworld. If I get to go next year
Yeah.
again, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what you guys put up. That's
It's
gonna
going to be super exciting. And honestly, like one of the biggest things I will say that we are working on right now that has been taking a lot of time and a lot of effort is Spooky Swap Meet.
oh, because you're
we're-
doing a full-on house decor.
and we're going big with it. We're really cranking out a lot of decor and the theme. Like I said, I won't say what the theme is yet, but it's going to be a big one for
Yeah.
sure.
It's a theme that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I've been wanting to do for a very long time. So
Cool.
we're definitely going all out on it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. You guys got to start putting pictures of stuff like that up on your Instagram.
We're going to.
Good.
Well,
This
there's
is what we do.
technically been sneak peeks for 2 weeks now, whether people have caught on to it or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can say this guy is a part of it.
He'll be there.
He'll be at Spooky Swap Meet.
You know why that was a dead giveaway is going to be a part of that?
What?
Because Spooky Swap Meet has the same pumpkin type thingy.
Like the
Look.
pumpkin vibe.
Yeah, and the pumpkin kind of gives that away. I mean, it's like that and Creep It Real too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got that pumpkin vibe going on.
Yeah.
So-
And I, on that note, I think we can say that Spooky Swap Meet, our house is going to be covered in pumpkins.
Okay.
So
Wait,
it's like I said,
can I
it's gonna
ask
be
if
big.
it's the pumpkins that you guys made that you had at Transworld?
Some of them, yeah.
Yes.
But, well, the ones at Transworld sold, but we're making more.
I know, but I love those. Those were so cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
those there will be a lot
They
of
are so
those.
fun to make.
There will be a lot of those. There will be a lot of like this style of pumpkin there as well. Just a
Little jackal.
ton of pumpkins.
Jackal.
I did see the little teaser on that when you guys were skinning that skeleton.
Yeah, and he's not even all the way
He's
done
not
yet.
done.
The
Oh, I know.
skin is done, but we still have a few things to touch
Yeah.
up on him. We just put him there because we thought he looked cool behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you needed to fill the space behind you.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask you,
Yeah.
is he posable?
Somewhat, yeah. There's a wire. We ran a wire through the arms and then down the spine a little. But it's just one of those, cheap Halloween skeletons, the like 5-footers or whatever.
Nice.
But yeah, normally, their arms are just by their side and they can like do this
Yeah.
and that's it.
Really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's,
So we had to kind of take them apart and reposition him. But yeah, Spooky Swap Meet is going to be fun. It's going to be big. It's going to be spooky.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing anything with Creep It Real?
No, we haven't really got into that yet. It looks interesting. Is that
They're
the one
at
in
the-
Orange?
Or OC Heritage, yeah, museum in
Okay.
Santa Ana.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody said that one's really good and that they think we should go to it. So
you should. The organizers are super cool people. Megan and
Yeah.
Kevin, they're really
Awesome.
great.
we're definitely interested. I think we're trying to not overload our plate right now. As
Yeah.
much as we want to just do like every show out there, we're
Yeah,
trying to not get above our heads too quick. But
Well, I know
it's
they have a
definitely
show
one on
coming
our
out.
radar.
I think they have a show coming out in September, I believe, and another
Okay.
one in November.
Okay, November
So-
might be doable.
Yeah,
Honestly, focus on the big ones, dude.
that's
Yeah.
gonna be where your bread and butter is. You might maybe just go and check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just,
See, you
just
know.
go visit. Maybe
Yeah.
hire, maybe bring somebody in a costume that you guys made just to promote your work. But don't waste
Yeah,
your time.
just to
with
walk
the-
around and
Yeah,
stuff.
don't waste your time with the small ones now because you've done Transworld, man. You've seen what Transworld can do.
Transworld's
Yeah, the
insane.
smaller ones are still fun. Like I still enjoy going to them when we can and stuff. And honestly, like those are the ones that are fun to also do photo ops at. That we don't have to worry about selling to, again, that general public audience that it's hit and miss for
Yeah.
companies like us.
Yeah,
But of course, it's cool because with the stuff that we can do with a photo op, the general public loves that. They eat
Yeah.
the photo ops up.
and that's another. It kind of ties into what I was saying. Like, you have your photo op booth and have somebody dressed up in your costume that they could
Yeah.
take pictures. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not selling product.
Yeah.
It's almost like going backwards, really.
Yeah. But
Back to
we're
the
excited
roots.
for the shows coming up. So
Cool.
we highly recommend that if anybody watching hasn't gotten a ticket to Spooky Swap Meet, that you do, because aside from us too, there's just some really cool
Great people.
vendors that are going to be there, along with the other house sponsors as well.
Yeah.
I think this year is going to be really, really cool.
Correct me. Is that the one that John Cook's wife does?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
I
put on
I was
by
mixing that up with Halloween Club then.
yeah.
No,
that
no,
one's put
Spooky
on
Swap
by,
Meet and Spooksy Boo are two different. I mean, Spooky Swap Meet and Spook Show.
Spook Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are different.
Yeah, Spook
Yeah,
Show
yeah.
is Halloween Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what my dad keeps calling it. He's like, "Are you doing Spook Show?" And I'm like, "You mean Spooky Swap Meet?" He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, two different ones, Pop. Two different
Yeah.
ones. Well, you guys, thanks a ton for coming on today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Thanks for having us.
We know you
Yeah.
guys are super busy, so I appreciate your time. We
Oh, no,
really appreciate your
anytime, man.
time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been super fun. I'm glad we were finally able to get out here with you guys, and I mean, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys want to plug your website and your social medias before we end
Sure.
the episode?
Yeah, sure. So our website is just www.AdamJessFX.com. It is the letters FX, not spelled out effects, but FX.
FX.
And then the same thing for our Instagram. It's just AdamJessFX. We're most active on Instagram. We do have a Facebook, but we don't really use it much. So just go to our Instagram.
Nobody's on
Facebook
Facebook
will
anymore.
just redirect you to the Instagram. So
Yeah.
just save your time and go to Instagram.
Instagram.
If you're on
yeah.
Facebook still, then you're a loser.
Just tell them like it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're real here.
But we do have a YouTube as well. Same thing, just AdamJessFX. We put some stuff up there once in a while. It's mostly just if you want to see the mask on a person moving and stuff. We'll post little advertisements on there once in a while. But that's pretty much it for YouTube. Yeah, that's pretty much that's all we got.
Yeah.
Cool.
We keep it simple.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, go
Well,
follow them.
Yeah, give them a follow, guys. Thanks again, people, for tuning in. Again, thanks, Adam and Jess, for joining us. Before you guys exit, why don't you go ahead and smash the subscribe button and punch that like button. Help us out. Thanks again, guys. Good night.